Great day, great day. This is No Slack Inc. coming at you. This is part 2 of our 2nd season of running the podcast. And to my right, I have my daughter who is a personal, she has a personal physical fitness license, and we have her here today to complete what we said what we do from last time.
That's right.
Because all this year, God has really put on my heart for the church. We are not in shape. Believe it or not, we're not even in shape spiritually. Because if the physical is out, the spiritual is.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think we're in shape spiritually, but we're going to deal today with both sides. So I'm excited. I know the reason why God is dealing with this because we have a long time to be here, and we have an agenda to push, which is God's agenda.
Yeah.
So if our health is not where God, we're not representing God, it is not going to, we will not be able to fulfill the mission. And so my thing is, God, use me however I can, but if I'm not doing my part, God is not going to violate their free will.
Right.
And then, of course, to my left, you know who this is. You're right. This is Elder Mitchell, the assistant pastor of Miracle Temple. Thank God for him as well. And we're going to get started today. Jonathan will be on the next podcast. This is going to be awesome. And we've made some changes. And so we thank Dolores Royster for also coming on the team, helping out.
That's
so
right.
A lot of people are playing roles
Yes,
to
sir.
make sure that this goes out. And do me a favor. If you like what we're saying, share.
Wow.
Send it out to somebody across the net so they can get fed.
That's
We
right.
do not want to keep this to ourselves. All right. With that being said, what you got?
Well, we're here, Pastor, and we have Braxton right here.
Right.
Pastor, and we're talking about physical fitness for the new year. It's a continual conversation.
Yeah.
And Pastor, I love how when we were talking about physical fitness on the last one and our New Year's resolutions, setting goals and stuff like that. And there was a lot to talk about. So we want to talk more about goal setting, staying physically fit, and not just setting goals, but actually attaining them, right? And I love that.
Okay. And I'm glad also because we can assume a lot of things. And this is one thing that, I talk to my daughter a lot. I used to personal train people in my younger days. I was very good at it, and only God gets the glory. But at the end of the day, it was something that just, it was something that was very rewarding. But a lot of people assume that we never have the facts. We'll be YouTube trainers.
Right.
Now that's this new generation.
Right.
But there's nothing like having a one-on-one with somebody who's a subject matter expert. So with that being said, my daughter's here. We're gonna feed off you today, Braxton.
Yeah.
On your education of what how God is dealing with you in the physical fitness world.
So especially with the beginning, with this first part of the year, talking about goal setting and physical fitness.
Right.
And I believe from the outside standpoint, if you see someone who's physically fit, more than likely they have discipline in other avenues. So within their jobs, things like that, if they keep up with their appearance, because as you become an adult, it's more of an extra mile that you have to go.
Right.
Because people have full-time jobs, they might have children. So if someone takes the time out to make sure that they're physically healthy, then okay, this person has a certain type of determination, a certain type of discipline, and they also wait for things to happen, which can kind of go into goal setting. When it comes to setting goals, you have to give time for it to happen. A lot of times you want a quick fix, just like we do in fitness.
Okay.
And so, especially when it comes to goal setting, and assuming that people who are listening to this are Christians, waiting for God to have His moment and intervene, as well as in the gym, waiting for the work you're putting in to finally catch up.
Got it.
So they're very much intertwined in that sense. And so when it comes to physical health and all those things, you have to make it a priority at the end of the day.
Right.
I mean, we're all tired, we all work hard, things of that nature. But you have to set out your time. You set out your time for other things.
Right.
So in a certain instance, I don't understand why at times we can't set out that certain time to work and better ourselves.
Isn't it amazing what you said, set out time? It's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that we can give other people all our time, and we can't give ourselves our time. So that means that I think you hit the nail with the hammer, is that it shows a discipline. And if you can't, and guess what? It's okay to love yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot love somebody else while loving yourself. It's not that, and that's not being vain.
Yeah.
But in the church, we have, because it is a discipline,
Yeah.
because it is, our temples is the holy vessels of God.
Mhm.
When person look at you or look at our outward, that's the first thing they see is a package. And you can be the smartest person but not get hired for the job based on your outside appearance.
Yeah.
And not just that, we go through a lot of aches and pains because of added weight. I think my daughter got me real good because I'm a picture person. She said, imagine you just take 10 pounds in each hand.
Wow.
And then walk with those 10 pounds. Eventually that's gonna be heavy. But then drop those 10 pounds. So you drop that weight.
Got it.
That's less pressure on our bones.
Got it.
So when I caught
That
that,
makes sense.
when I caught that, when I had when I caught that from her, I said, man, that makes sense. Let me start
That makes sense.
dropping some weights because as I age, I need to get more off me. Yeah, I want to stay, at a certain build, but it's not worth it carrying it if it's going to hurt my body.
Yeah. That is so powerful. The word that stood out to me as Braxton was talking is that word discipline.
Discipline.
How physical fitness and discipline has to go together.
Right.
If there's not a marriage in those two, then you're gonna have a problem. You just putting basically, like you see in some instances, people just go to the gym.
Yeah.
They don't work out, they just go to the gym to socialize, but no workout or anything. But the gym itself represents discipline.
Right.
When you see a gym, automatically what should come to your mind is discipline. You
Right.
gotta be willing to get up and go there, and when you get there, actually do something that will make a difference in your body.
Yeah, and with that, I think like we all have goals that we might want to have and
Right.
things we want to look at, and I tell people to do that. Like, of course, genetics play a role in all those types of things, but like I said, just like relating it to vision boards and things
Right.
like that. Where God is talking in Habakkuk to write the vision and make it plain.
Okay, right.
And so you have a vision board, all those things, you keep those things in front of you. Have some inspiration for not even what you want to look like, but maybe you might want to get off of medicine, all those things. Like, have a vision for that as well, so you can make it plain. But then give God the time to work in those areas and ask for discipline, because I think my problem is when we ask and pray for all these other things, a house, a car, which are great things, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But if it's every time your alarm goes off to go to the gym and you just come up with some certain excuse, ask and pray to Him
Called
that
excuse-itis.
He'll get you up in the morning.
Yeah.
You know.
That's called excuse-itis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And in fact, y'all saying about discipline.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go against the grain, y'all mind.
Okay.
I think the person that sleep in bed, they just.
Well,
I think the person that just say, hey, I'm gonna, I show up when I want to show up.
You got a point
They are disciplined in the wrong way. Think about this now. God created every human being to move forward.
Right.
It takes a lot of discipline for you to go against his flow.
True.
So so the person that don't want to work, they don't want to work out in the morning, they don't want to do none of these things. That's, to me, I come to look at it like, man, they're joking discipline. Because you don't want to get up and do nothing for your body. You have to really go against God's free will to say, I'm just gonna stay here, eat buns, and just die early. Now that's discipline. Eating the bun buns. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious, man. The bun buns. Bun buns make is no fun when you get older. All right.
Yeah, that's very true. But think about the human anatomy of the human body. You have the bones, the muscle, the tendon, all those types of things.
Right.
And when you are having pain or things like that, like, our bodies aren't meant to take as much force as we put on them.
Wow.
So, like I use the analogy, if you think about someone, if you've lost weight,
Right.
whether it be 10 pounds, 20 pounds, etc., and get maybe a weighted vest or something,
Okay.
try walking up the stairs with it. Try running with it, jumping with it. You feel the force and the pain, whether that's on your knees, on your back, all those types of things.
Wow.
And I'm kind of wondering sometimes, like, why am I hurting so much?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because you're putting on this unwanted and unneeded stress on your body. But I think that a lot of people interpret it as you know, people in the fitness industry wanting you to be the next professional athlete when that's not the case. A lot of our jobs are sedentary, so you're not really doing much out of the day. So
Okay.
I think when you just scratch the surface and you just go back to the basics,
Okay.
because we tend to try to overcomplicate things.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, you're doing nothing at all. Start by walking.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
let's start back at the basics. Nobody's asking you to go run a mile,
Right.
swim around the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
Like, start the basics. And if you can't do that, then at the point, it's just excuses.
Got it. Got
That's
it.
just what it is.
And I think, you know, like I said, my daughter, she's in this, when I got out of the military, I had gained probably, 40 pounds or something like that. I blew up to about 270 at a 5'9" frame. And that came out of, you know, you're bored, I'm snacking a lot, and then I just realized I had to make a choice. How am I gonna be preaching the gospel?
Wow.
God has called me to do this,
Wow.
and then all of a sudden, I'm preaching the gospel, but I don't believe God that I can be disciplined.
Yeah.
But I believe God to heal people. But then I don't believe that He has the power for me to back off the table. Something is going of a lack of faith.
Yeah.
So that means I have faith for others, but lack of faith for myself.
Yeah.
And God is not pleased with that.
And that's what I learned, Pastor, especially being here, and since I came here to North Carolina over 12 years ago. And one of the things I learned is learning how to overcome myself.
Okay.
Not allowing my nature, my human nature to run me.
Right.
You know, because whatever the human nature desire, the flesh desire, I was always chasing that.
Right.
The flesh desire more money, I chase the money, and then ignore my health.
Right.
Because I want more money. So therefore I didn't pay attention to how I was feeling and what's going on in my life, what's going on in my body, until one time I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, hey, something is wrong. The reason why you feel this way is because something is wrong.
Right.
So even though you're chasing after this, that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you get better healthy.
Right.
You got to actually stop and focus on how you're feeling and why you're feeling the way it was. And then I realized, what was I not doing? I was not paying attention to myself.
Right.
I wasn't loving myself enough to actually do something to improve myself.
That's good right
I
there.
said, well, okay, if I get the money, then I feel better. But
Right.
a lot of people with money, they still die.
I know a lot of people who have a lot of money and can't even go to Disney World, can't go to Six Flags, can't even really go with the grandchildren. And believe it or not, this is something that I think the church, because we're talking about the church, you know, the church as a whole, we have to get back to preaching on the health. That's if we really care about each other.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you know, I can't emphasize enough that I know for a fact that God is concerned about what Paul said. He said your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you. So believe it or not, when we walk out to wherever we go, people are looking at God's holy temple.
Yeah.
It's either going to attract them or it's going to say, oh no, they're not this one. You know, I just saw a preacher fall out.
Oh wow.
2 days ago. You know, I was looking at a video of this certain preacher. I don't call no names, but man, he went back for the last squall, and then he came back and he was like this.
Wow.
And I'm not. I mean, it was. They thought he was acting.
Wow.
But thank God that podium was there to keep him from collapsing.
Wow.
And if you look at the size that he was, that means something went to. He strained something on the inside.
Yeah.
And so that's something that even while preaching, because you know it's not you when you're preaching, it's a taxation on your body. So yeah, we have to do our part.
That's right.
I mean, between the going back to the preaching and all those things, and being a pastor is it's busy. It's a busy job.
It's a total.
You know, even though you're home, you're not off. You know.
Right.
So therefore, you have to make time for yourself. Like, and the type of, you know, imagine you're up on a podium with light shining on you, which is already draining as it is.
Wow.
You might not just have on a suit. You might have on a robe or something of that nature. Your body temperature is up there.
Right.
You're sweating. All these things, and that's basically kind of like a workout. What you're putting yourself through. What you're up there 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
And so 9 times out of 10, you're not eating really that much anything good after that. I mean, you might go, I don't know, eat whatever you want. And so it's like, listen
That's
to
chicken.
your body. And I think once you truly grasp, and us as humans and as Christians, you have to see yourself how God sees you.
Wow.
And so a lot of that comes from loving yourself more, things of that nature.
Loving
so
yourself.
once you see yourself how Jesus sees you and how God sees you, then it's like, okay, I have my temple, all these types of things.
Right.
And so, and that even starts a conversation. Sometimes I try to make God in the midst of, oh, you work out, what do you do, et cetera, and we just kind of go down a rabbit hole. So it's like we are the salt of the world and a light.
Right.
So therefore, you want to draw people in.
Right.
And so when it's like, a Christian just kind of doing their own thing and all this stuff, and you want God to bless you and all these other avenues,
Right.
get back to the basics. Take care of his temple.
Right.
Because it's the littlest things that we aren't doing which can make things easier. And a lot of times you're making life a little bit harder on yourself. There's a lot of things we bring on to ourselves. It's not, I was born with it. No, you weren't. Like, you bring it on to yourself.
Right.
And so it's like, God help me, But it's also like the analogy where he puts the wood and all these things to make the table. He puts the gym here. What you want him to do, just magically.
Yeah.
Go like put the effort in.
Yeah.
Just like I hope I make an A on this test, but you didn't never open the book.
Right.
But you know what's amazing? Personal trainers like yourself, and I think also personal trainers that are independent, like yourself, personal trainers that train in gyms. I think as a whole, people don't understand people don't understand y'all role.
Right.
And so I know for a fact that being in your shoes or being in other people's shoes who I know are personal trainers, people use you and then they think they know what to do then.
Right.
It's almost like I come to church and then I just want to go pastor. No, you don't have the anointing for this.
Right.
You may can even out preach that pastor. But that's then you're in competition, but you don't have the anointing for the longevity.
Yeah, right.
And neither is God pleased with that.
Right.
Because it's not at that point. You just good at talking.
Right.
Which is some people are, and they really fool people because
Yeah.
then you're leading God's sheep astray.
Yeah.
I look at LeBron James and people say, well, he got the money. And those are people who don't really understand. $1.5 million in his health.
Right.
He's still playing.
He's still playing.
Like he's 21.
Yeah. Still running and jumping.
He puts the right thing in his body. He puts millions, even though he has millions. But I told somebody the other day, I said, if you had it, you still wouldn't put 1.5 in your own.
That's right.
You don't even put $100 a year.
Right.
So you think you're gonna put 1.5 million? So I just think is that we'll go eat out and pay $60 for 1 hour at the table, and then we can't even go to the gym or hire a personal trainer.
Yeah, that is so true.
And I told my daughter one thing. I said, hey, in life, people got it. It's just what they want to put money on.
That's true. That's true. And that's one thing I've learned. Pastor. One of the things I'm reminded when we talk about self-love.
Right.
I'm reminded because for how long I've been in church,
Uh-huh.
I didn't hear that word. That wasn't a popular word
Right.
in the church,
Mhm.
and I believe it still not is. Only a few are really grasping that idea to really take care of yourself. And you can see, and it starts from the pulpit down to the pew. You can see how the person, like if I look at you, Pastor,
Right.
for you and as an example, people they're gonna mirror what they see in the front of them. If you're taking care of yourself,
Right.
that is going to eventually trickle down into the ministry, to the people. Because if you're not,
Right.
that also is going to reflect into the ministry.
Right.
So that's why I'm so grateful that you advocate self-love, taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
Take care of yourself. Take care of your spiritual, your health, your spiritual wealth, your spiritual health, your spiritual wealth, and everything else that's associated with it.
Right.
So you can become a better person for God to use.
And we'll let my daughter have the last on this, but I know for a fact when I get up in the morning, in the church world we got the praying down pat. We got all this stuff down pat as far as the spiritual. And then when it's time to go walking or working out, we say, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. We got that prayer line down pat.
Yeah.
But we will not get up 6:15 or 6:30 or 6:45 and just go out for 20 or 30 minutes for our own self.
Right. That's true.
That's the part that I believe that God is not pleased with. Is that because at the end of the day, how can He use you if your health is not there? Now, could He supernaturally do it? He can. God can do whatever He wants to. But there's a responsibility that He has put in us because He's not going to do anything new.
That's right.
I agree. I feel like the sole purpose of us all being on this earth was to fulfill the mission that God has, told you to do. And so if you can't physically do it,
Right.
then what, it's one of those things. And so with physical health and all those types of things, like you say, you make room and do things that you want to do.
Right.
So the extra 20 minutes, especially if you have the time, but you're just sitting on the couch watching TV.
Right.
Put Netflix on your phone and walk. Like, I just truly, whenever people say things, it just goes in one ear and out the other.
Right.
Because I remember we went to the mall and we saw older people walking in the
Oh, yeah.
There's literally no excuse.
That's
I mean, between if it's raining outside, all those things, something at home inside. And so whenever you get tired of just making excuses,
Right.
but you don't want it to be too long, and then you have all these health complications.
Right.
But they're because you brought them upon yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're not being in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
And like I said, once you truly are loving yourself and it's like appreciative,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, I think we take our bodies for granted.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I'm here. But be appreciative of the body that God gave you, because it's where He and the Holy Spirit are supposed to reside. And you don't want them to reside in some dusty, crusty shack.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Accountability helps.
That's right.
Like now, my daughter's doing
That's right.
she has a online.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
I'll give it to put in the caption.
Okay, in the caption. Okay. Because at the end of the day, it's one of those things that my daughter now can look at how many steps I take.
Right.
I know we can do it on our Apple phones and so forth, but this new online that I'm an advocate for. You really don't need a gym.
That's right.
Just bands, just something you can do. There's a workout for every environment that you've been. Say you can't afford a gym, but then I don't buy that because Planet Fitness $10.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have $10.
Yeah.
You got $10.
A Happy Meal costs more than that.
Yeah, exactly. so your fries and the shake.
Yeah.
That's literally $2 and 25 point something cents a week.
Yeah.
You either got in your couch cushions or get a water instead of the sweet tea.
Yeah.
Right.
You supersize the Happy Meal. You're not getting. You
When
want to
Planet
get some more
Fitness
money.
came, I said that made zero excuse for everybody.
Yeah. That's
Because
right.
I've never heard of gym of those calibers around the world. If you can go to $20 or the $10 package.
Right.
And the 20 you can go anywhere around the world. The $10, you of course. But I'm just saying, God has touched people's hearts to set up these organizations, and we still make an excuse that we can't do it.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not here to jump on that soapbox.
Yeah.
But my daughter, how you feel? You feel great about as far as the physical fitness, and I'm excited what we're going to be doing is it March to what day?
The kickoff is April.
April
6th.
April
Right?
6th will be the first
April
one.
6th on a Saturday. It'll be all women. My daughter's going to run a no slack shred count. The women going to be up here. Is it for an hour?
Yeah, it's for an hour
And
from 9 to 10.
And it's only 20, right?
20 slots.
20 slots. And so once she set it out there are people on the outside ready to come. And she's doing something that is unheard of. She's taking donations, right? Just donations, what a person would like to donate. And I know God's gonna bless you for that. So we're gonna continue doing it, and then at the women's conference, you'll be educating women on the health as well.
Wow.
And that's March the 16th. So we're gonna attack this with everything we have.
That's right.
And she's gonna put her information in the caps. And so I wanna thank you all for being with us, believing in what we're doing. And look, we're trying to be healthy because our health is our wealth. So with that being said, do y'all have any last words for
Well, Pastor, I just want to say thank you
No, thank
for
you.
this platform, for setting up this platform for us so that we can broadcast
We gotta talk about these
information
things, man.
and encourage, inspire,
Right.
and entertain people.
Yeah.
Make people feel comfortable
Right.
about listening to us and give them an opportunity to make changes in their
Right.
life. So I thank you for that.
But you know, it's amazing.
The way you
People
do
would
it.
take something like we're doing something positive.
Mm-hmm.
People would take gossip and share it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about staying here longer.
That's right. That's right.
I've seen so much stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, look at this. It's a world of entertainment.
That's right.
But we're trying to live a long life.
Yeah.
The life that God would have us to live.
So thank you, Pastor.
How about you, Braxton? Anything?
Just thank you for letting me be on here. I hope that you all grasp at least something to love yourself,
Yeah.
Right.
to make yourself a priority.
Yeah.
Because I always say, like, you know, stress is one of probably the top killers in America. So
Yeah.
put yourself as a priority because God forbid you were to drop dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
Your office is just gonna give your family the box and
That's
have
it.
someone else take up your
That's
spot.
right.
And they're gonna give you a
That's
cup
right.
to go with it too.
That's right.
They're gonna give you a coffee cup
Mhm.
and take the mission.
Okay, anyways.
You know?
But yeah, put yourself first, your mental, spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
physical health, and yeah, that's it.
All right.
That's
Look,
right.
you heard from subject matter expert, which is my daughter Braxton Wright, and I don't have her on here because she's just my daughter.
Mhm.
I understand. You know, I'm gonna bust her out. She sags a lot. She
Mhm.
wear a lot of big clothes.
I do.
But trust me,
Mhm.
she is ripped up. That's
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say.
See,
So you know, that's all I'm gonna say. So, but she knows what she's doing. She has a passion for what she's doing, and we're gonna be the church that sets the tone on teaching health to everybody who will accept it. So
That's
on
right.
that note, God bless you, and Lord's will, we'll see you in 2 weeks for our third podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.